This is Sybert signing into General's 0 Hour on the map, Cold Territory, which is not just a reskin Tournament Desert, although it does have a layout very similar to Tournament Desert. But it's not just a winter skin. It's slightly different. In the north, as the Chinese. As the yellow, this is Splka. And in the south, I don't know how to pronounce that guy's name. In the south, as the Cyan, also China, but the Nuke General, this is Reznov. Reznov and Splka, S-P-I-K-A? I don't know. I think the name is SPL, but whatever. I'm not familiar with either of these players, so we'll have to see what happens. But we get 2 China mirrors in a row from General 0 Hour, so I have no idea what to expect. We'll just discover together. Double War Factory coming out for both players. And 2 supplies split very similarly to Tournament Desert. Then you also have mini supply caches on the right and the left. And I guess a couple in the middle of the map as well. We'll have to see how quickly the players split up these resources. Couple of oil derricks, but they are like half health on each side of the map. Battlemaster coming right out of Reznov, so he is going to be going for the Battlemaster hunting of these listening outposts, trying to get close so that when the explosion happens, it kills everything off, but it does look like 2 of the tank hunters going to be able to escape. The same story happening over here on the left side of the map, except in this case, Reznov actually gets the better end of that deal. So they both kind of win a little skirmish on each side of the map. Gatling tank and a listening outpost here in the middle for Reznov as he comes up to the north. And, well, for now, Splka going to be just producing more and more listening outposts from both war factories. Got these supply trucks nicely barricaded in with the barracks on one side and the war factory on the other side. Great building placement from Splka there. Propaganda Center now on the way for Reznov as he sneaks a Battlemaster, well, kind of past the defenses of Splka. Does a little bit of damage to the supply trucks, but not enough to finish them off. That's what the second Battlemaster is for. This tank hunter going to try and do as much as he can, and it will actually survive. Both of these trucks do actually survive the assault, so the supply trucks do actually make it out of there alive. Gatling tank to deal with the tank hunters and the Battlemaster to try and deal with the listening outposts, but it doesn't quite work out for Reznov as he would like. On the other hand, Splka continuing to make, I guess not headway, but continuing to hold the right side of the map with a couple of captured buildings, just holding up in there and then using the rocket troopers to give himself a little bit of space there. I assume a supply, okay, yeah, their supply center going to be going down. This little group of 4 supplies so he can have some kind of mid to late game income there, boost his economy just slightly. Another Battlemaster eliminated, another listening outpost eliminated. Pretty even trades for Splka and Reznov. 3 listening outposts. Quite a serious assault here. You better really be scared as the uranium or the nuclear Battlemasters respond very nicely. And the supply trucks also going to be getting in on the action there. I assume they were just going in for the crush. But ECM is going to be splitting the rockets away and making them significantly less effective as these Battlemasters try and close the distance and finally shut down that listening outpost. Black Lotus eliminates, or captures rather, the oil derrick right outside of Splka's expansion. Black Lotus may actually be going for the expansion after that. Forcing the sell-off of the expansion, maybe even shutting down the trucks. I'm not sure how effective shutting down the trucks actually is, but forces the sell-off of the expansion. And without a response, then airfield is going to be going down next. Reznov getting some serious value out of this Black Lotus. There's the reveal, and can the listening outpost actually shut down Black Lotus in time? A Helix does actually jump out of that airfield, but goodbye airfield as it gets sold off there just as the supply center gets reestablished, and a Battlemaster will be the response to back up Black Lotus. If you guys aren't noticing a bit of stutter, that is the problem that I was having with General Zero Hour in the past. And that is why I wasn't casting games of General Zero Hour. And it seems the only solution for my system is to reinstall it, and then you get one game out of General Zero Hour before it starts stuttering again. So I do apologize. Maybe this will be the last Zero Hour for a little while until I can figure out a better solution. But wow, that Helix gets eliminated, and well, goodbye Helix as the Gatling tank shows up to finish off, I assume, the supply trucks, but not actually shooting just yet. 3 more listening outposts on the left side of the map will be met by quite an Overlord Battlemaster Gatling tank army. Also on the left side of the map, that Gatling tank not doing anything about the supply trucks. I guess he was instead sent for some other reason, but nope, does turn his guns on to try and shoot down these supply trucks, and well, goodbye one supply truck. The other 2 are trying to hide out next to this building so that the rocket troopers inside can get some shots off. Reznov stepping forward, a pretty serious army, and this is also buying him some nice space. He's got a little expansion here in the middle of the map. He could also try and sneak over here with the cover of this army to grab an expansion there on the left side of the map. I guess he would need to eliminate this building, which I'm kind of surprised he left it open. He's clearing out the bunker, though, as that bunker will get shut down. And goodbye, bunker. Listening outpost is going to be the response. We'll have to see if this Overlord tank ECM kind of an army is enough firepower to shut down the listening outpost. The listening outposts get kind of caught, and 2 of them go down, while the other 2, I don't think, fired a single shot. So a bit of a problem there as Splka attacks, but only with half of his army at one time. ECM tank also locking down another one of these listening outposts for another guaranteed kill, and Reznov continuing to crush through listening outpost after listening outpost. Nuke cannon fires off, clips one of the Overlords, but the rest of the tanks do manage to escape. 2 nuke cannons heading out for Splka. And I mean, Splka isn't even the nuke general, but he's indeed bringing the pain with those nuclear cannons. Although I do love how hilariously fast the nuclear Overlord tanks, because I assume they get the like speed buff that the regular Battlemasters get. Maybe they don't, but they do seem very quick for the from the nuclear general. Carpet bomber gets off 3 bombs, enough to kill off the trucks, but not enough to eliminate the supply center. So the supply center remains as the artillery strike also going to be firing off. I assume it may not actually be hitting this. It might be hitting something behind it as he's going for a different target there. And he should be able to get the trucks with this at least. Yep, the trucks get eliminated, but once again the supply center survives, so going to be forcing the reset of the trucks, and that's definitely not where you want to be spending your cash, as Reznov is rebuilding supply trucks at this point in the game. His army unable to make any real strides against the economy of Splka. Splka shutting down the economy of Reznov, or severely hampering it with merely support power. So, I mean, that doesn't cost him anything in terms of units. It does just cost him those support power resets. Gatling tanks, a listening outpost, and an ECM here on the right side of the map, and this propaganda center is not long for this world. Gets eliminated. The bunker is going to be forcing the army back just for a moment. I assume they're going to finish off this bunker and then potentially get up and close to this nuke cannon. But no, the nuke cannon does clean up a couple of Gatlings by itself. Just one shot doing so much damage for Splka. And that nuke cannon full of health. The attack helix, well, gets eliminated. The Gatling tank just kills that helix moments after construction finished. And unfortunately for Splka, he just doesn't have any alive helixes. But I mean, unfortunately for Reznov, he doesn't have any alive forces in the middle of the map, getting his entire army on the right side shut down by basically one nuke cannon. And then in the middle of the map, losing an Overlord. Carpet Bomb coming in, and Black Lotus is not going to get caught by that. Carpet Bomb will land on the War Factory, should eliminate it. Gets the supply center and the supply trucks as well. There's a decent amount of cash there, 10 grand still in that supply dock. So Reznov finally striking back with, of course, those support powers being the thing that actually gets the job done. ECM tanks trying to eliminate each other as Battle Masters and Overlords go at it. Carpet Bomb coming in, but it's actually well placed. I thought it was going to be a little bit too far north, but it clips that Overlord quite nicely, eliminates it. The ECM and the Battle Master, do they actually get the kill on the Dozer? The answer is yes. Going to be forcing the cancel of this barracks, which was supposed to help out this this supply center. Is there a... Okay, there is a rebuilt command center for Reznov, so he is absolutely fine in terms of those Dozers, and I actually thought that Dragon Tank was going to escape the nuke, but no. The nuclear cannon does have enough of a, I guess, a fast enough fire rate that it cleans up the Dragon Tank. I thought it was going to be like an artillery platform where you get inside of the minimum range, the minimum firing distance fast enough that it can't kill you. But this nuke cannon assault helix kind of a situation is apparently pretty good, as he's now got a pretty good stronghold against Reznov's forward expansion in the middle of the map. Black Lotus from Splka going to be, I assume, capturing the supply center? Helix is swinging in to eliminate one truck. The other truck survives for the current moment. The Gatling tank not responding in time, so I think that is going to be a... Oh, she just, like, stole some cash. She didn't actually force the sell-off of the building. I thought it was going for a capture. 4 ECM tanks going to be locking down this Overlord for a guaranteed kill as Reznov loses another Overlord and more cash is stolen by Black Lotus. Reznov with only $300 in the bank, but with against 2,500 for Splka. And Splka doing a pretty good job of keeping that Black Lotus alive and protected with that army of units hanging out right next to her. Black Lotus going to be swinging around to the north for Reznov, trying to avoid this listening outpost, who's dodging left and looking right to try and find that Black Lotus, but it won't quite work. And Helix is fighting each other, I guess, but unfortunately for Reznov, he only gets the nuke cannon and nothing else for his troubles. The Helixes of Splka do survive, at least for now. Black Lotus almost moving in. Yeah, she's setting up camp to force the sell-off of a supply center. And 4,500 credits in that supply dock. Cutting that off from Splka. Supply center and the War Factory both might get eliminated here, as yeah, there's enough bombs in that Carpet Bomber to clean up both. One supply truck technically does survive with some cash inside of it, so Reznov could make good use of that. Command center still surviving for Reznov. Again, he's got those Dozers, he's got the command center. I guess at this point both players have rebuilt their command center and managed to keep it alive, keep it away from the Black Lotus, so... Black Lotus steps forward, shuts down the Overlord, and actually shuts down an ECM and a Gatling for just a moment there before getting eliminated, and the Overlord should be coming back online, but it won't be until after the battle is over. And everything else came back online, the Gatling and the ECM actually showing up to finish off the Black Lotus. But that Overlord, just a little sleepy. Reznov winning some fights. But does he have what it takes to win the war? Every time he's moved out and he's looked like he's in an okay position against Splka, Splka pulls something out, either helixes or nuke cannons, to just finish off whatever Reznov has waiting for him. So we'll have to see if this army on the left side of the map, this Dozer included, will finally be enough for Reznov to do critical damage to Splka. A couple of supply trucks will get eaten up by these Gatling tanks, but there's a nuke cannon watching over this. The supply trucks actually both survive, not able to get enough damage out on them quickly enough, and the nuke cannon irradiating the work zone, and actually going to be... Did he force fire the ground? I'm not actually sure what Splka is doing here. I guess he really wants to keep that army away, and he wants to de-incentivize it from coming back. Splka cleans up that tank hunter, and for now, all of the helixes do survive. Those helixes, they pack a lot of a punch, but they can go down very, very quickly. Artillery strike coming over. War factory or the airfield? It's going to be the war factory that goes down. The airfield does survive for the current moment. A helix from Reznov also going to be escaping away to the left side of the map. And apparently a beacon is being placed by Reznov. Oh, he wants to mark the cluster bomb or the mine drop there, as he doesn't want to run into it with a couple of Overlord tanks later. Reznov cleaning up a supply center here on the left side of the map, pushing Splka back here and there. Splka surviving with the, he's got the, I don't think he ever got any hackers, but he's got the command center, so even if he's lost all of his dozers, he's got enough to get one more dozer. But if that's all of his cash, then with no hackers and if no dozers are currently out, he's in a very tough spot. He can, of course, build a dozer and sell off the command center, much like the beginning of the game, but this is going to be a tight win for Splka if he manages to turn it around. He's got a pretty mobile and a heavy-hitting army, but of course Gatling tanks can ruin that pretty darn easily. Reznov needs to just run probably a tight defense, and although he also... I just realized Reznov only has 475 bucks, so he may actually need to sell off some of this stuff to get out a dozer and a supply center. I don't know if it would really be worth it. There's only 375 bucks remain in that supply dock, so both of these guys are pretty close to out of the game in terms of money. One dozer is still here for Reznov, so he does have that. There is also supplies here in the middle of the map, 2,400. So there is actually a decent amount of money if you can get it. Not necessarily late game kind of money, but a decent amount of money. With no hackers coming out in this game, at 18 minutes, both of these guys are just about out of cash. And it's going to be what limited armies they have, which is mostly helixes for Splka. Actually, it might be literally entirely helixes. No, he's got one Gatling and one ECM to go along with his helixes. So can Splka pull something out of this? He's got 1,500 credits. He's going to be losing the airfield. Not really anything he can do about that at this point. He can try and posture with the helixes and hope that Reznov backs off, but Reznov is feeling like the one with all of the cards in his hands, although that EMP was great as he cleans up the helix of Reznov. And Reznov cannot afford to replace that. Not that Splka necessarily knows that, but with an ECM and these helixes, anything is possible for Splka. As he's going to be turning his helixes south. He's going to be running into a couple of Gatlings, and can he actually clean them up in time? The ECM splitting the missiles, and this could just be death for these helixes as two Gatlings go down. Yes, they all get eliminated, but two of the helixes also go down. Two of them do survive, and it might just be a bit of a base race, as Reznov may not actually realize how close to victory he is, and I think it's just down to the command center, and that is pretty much it, as they're both gunning down each other's command centers, but with different units. The ECM runs in and shuts down the ECM of Reznov. Can he actually eliminate the Gatling tank of his opponent? A dozer gets out, and he starts a barracks behind enemy lines, or behind his own lines, but there's enemies right at the front gate, which might as well be the enemy line, as ECM and an Overlord versus ECM and an Overlord, but it's an insurance policy, a barracks on the left side of the map, as the helixes desperately look left and look right, but they're not in the correct spot. The Overlord might be getting eliminated by these helixes as they step forward. The ECM splitting the missiles away as the Gatlings trying to respond in time, but the Overlord, will it go down? The helixes, one goes down, the other one does survive, but the Gatlings, two Gatlings and the ECMs with the Overlord, it's just going to be too much. This might be the last structure on the map for Reznov if Splka realizes that He's leading these Gatlings on a merry chase for the current moment. His command center has survived for the present. And it's a barracks, a power plant, and another barracks here on the left side of the map. But Reznov, I think, just needs to go for it and go for the last structure. He sells off the power plant and the command center. He's trying to get maybe another building way up here in the north and then leave the Gatlings to defend that barracks. And this is how Reznov is going to try and end it. He knows that it's down to just a Gatling and an ECM defending that barracks, but he's going to go for it. EMP, no, it's a cluster bomb. A cluster bomb in the north from Splka comes in, and I guess he was banking on Reznov heading to the north, and he's going to try and capture them, but the carpet bombing is actually not going for the army. It's actually just going for the barracks. Another barracks being rebuilt here in the north, and goodbye barracks because of one carpet bombing, but goodbye dozer, as Splka may be able to pull this out by a base trade. Barracks have a whole lot less health than a command center, as it's Overlords versus a Helix, but the Helix gets called off, and another barracks gets placed by Reznov. Reznov not actually canceling that construction. So he's got both locations, which I don't know if an unfinished building, like when it's at 0%, does that keep you in the game, just the scaffolding sitting there? Does that actually keep you in the game? It looks like Splka is out of time, as I think this is going to be it for him. The Helix comes in, but it gets eliminated by the Gatling. And with just the command center left... No! Actually, oh my gosh, it's going to come down to the artillery strike. The artillery strike against the barracks, and it does it! Reznov has been defeated! Splka with the command center, the health on the command center, actually making it happen, as goodbye Reznov. You fought well, you played well, but it came down to the artillery barrage. That will do it for this game. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you all very much for watching, and this is Sybert signing out.